ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकाय चक्षुरुं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथां वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सार्वधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, thank you so much for joining in and acknowledging to just study the remaining part of the fifth chapter. Maybe I might start the sixth chapter also. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But at least I'll try to complete the fifth chapter, what 3 shlokas that were remaining as such. So, we completed the 26th shloka where he said that, give me 1 minute, I'll just share the screen with you. Where Krishna is saying that Kama Krodha Vimuktanam. So one can attain liberation soon by being free from Kam and Krodh, from anger and material desires. And Kama Krodha Vimuktanam. And then by doing this and controlling the mind. So he's saying Yat Chetasam. And then he's saying that Vidit Atmanam. He's saying that when you sincerely endeavor for this perfection with a little of self-discipline, then you move towards self-realization. So far Krishna has explained that how a person can attain liberation when he is working in complete knowledge with the Supreme, or complete knowledge of the Supreme. And then so people say about liberation, but then how a person can attain liberation through Ashtanga Yoga. And that is why Krishna will introduce Ashtanga Yoga from the 27th, 28th and 29th shlokas. So he says over here, in the 27th shloka, he says that Sparshan Kritva Bahir Bahyamscha Chakshuschaivar Vantare Bruhavo Pranapano Samo Kritva Nasabhyam Antara Charino Yatendriya Mano Buddhir Munir Moksha Parayana Vigatecha Bhaya Krodho Yah Sada Mukta Eva Saha. So basically these are 2 shlokas that he is speaking on, and he is saying that because if you see the whole chapter overview, that what is basically happening, that Arjuna, there were 2 options for him. Either you do karma or you renounce. Either you do action or you renounce. So Krishna told him about how there can be action and renunciation also of these two. And these two need not be opposite. It can be integrated with each other. It does not need to be fragmented, but it can be integrated. So when Krishna speaks how it can be integrated, then the point is that that is it that action alone will ultimately lead me to liberation? So can karma yoga alone lead to liberation? It can. When a person is practicing karma yoga, eventually this person can renounce the world, go to the forest. When the person is in a grihastha life, he lives in this world and he acts according to karma yoga. But when this person takes up to vanaprastha, from the grihastha ashram to the vanaprastha, and then the sannyas, the person may not be acting in karma yoga, because that time the person may take up to even Gyan Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. The person may take up, to full-time bhakti also. So that, so these all things vary. The way Krishna is explained, that by karma alone one can take up to liberation, that means that one can stay in the liberated stage even while practicing one's work. But eventually, as this varnashram progresses, one has to, one will renounce the world eventually. So when one is renouncing the world, what one does at that time to complete this process towards liberation. So Krishna is telling that in this chapter, he's telling here that instead of Gyan, Krishna has already told about, Dukham. Up to ayogata. Krishna said that if one is not practicing karma yoga, then he will get only dukha. So here Krishna is saying that if one wants to practice liberation, one should practice Ashtanga yoga. And then the next two verses describing about actually Ashtanga yoga, and then this Ashtanga yoga is completely elaborated in the 6th chapter. So here he will talk about how to renounce through this asat sangha, through this Ashtanga yoga. And in this last verse of this chapter, Krishna will talk about Bhakti Yoga. And Bhakti Yoga will be elaborated now in the next section of the Bhagavad Gita, that is from 7th chapter to the 12th chapter. So, this progression, if you see for the first 5 chapters, Krishna has established for Arjuna that, you act, because action is better than renunciation. And he says that karma yoga is better than Gyan yoga. And when he does karma yoga, eventually he wanted to renounce the world. That time he can practice Ashtanga yoga, or he can practice Bhakti yoga. And Bhakti yoga can be, continuously practiced. He does not have to change any process. And that way, he will, elaborately talk about Bhakti yoga in the 7th chapter. So, in this particular shloka, if you see, that Krishna said that Bahir Bhayamscha. He's saying that that keep outside, but keep outside what? Then he's saying that Sparshan Kritva. So he's saying keep outside the Sparshan Krita. Sparshan means whatever objects, such as, sound or there, or whichever will, touch you. So Sparshan, Kritva means, we may say that, okay, Sparsha refers to touch. But Sparsha in general means, contact with the senses. Refers to this contact of the senses to the sense objects. So Krishna has used this sparsha in a very, you can say, in a very general sense. And Krishna has used, he says that bahyam, external sense objects, and do not focus on these external sense objects. And then he's saying that chakshushchai vantare bhruvoha. So, what one should do with his eyes? Chakshu means eyes. If you see the translation, chakshu means eyes. Cha eva antare ani bhruvo. Bhruvo means eyebrows. So, fix the eyes in the middle of the two eyebrows. And then Krishna is talking about yogasana, where one can do pratyahar, and he cuts all this sense objects, and then he will regulate his breathing. And this particular verse is basically talking about the physical control one should have. Because at the physical level, what one should do to regulate the breath, it will turn away the sense object. So, and it will fix the eyes in between the two eyebrows. And then to turn inwards, then what should we do? Then he will say that, yata indriye mana buddhi. So he'll say that bring this mind, senses, and intelligence. Okay. Indriya, mana, and buddhi. Yata indriya, mana, buddhi. Bring this mind, senses, and intelligence under the control of whom? Under the control of yata. Yata means munir moksha parayana. Bring it under the control of the person, because the person should be, moksha parayana. He should be liberated, he's saying. So he's saying that the person should be moksha parayana. He should be liberated. And he's saying further that nothing in this material world will make this person happy. I want to go beyond this. So then that is why he goes to beyond this. He becomes moksha parayana. So, and then he's saying that vigata ichha bhaya krodha. Vigata, then what he does is, because he wants to become moksha parayana, then what he will do? He will discard his wishes. He will discard his anger. He will discard his fear. He'll become free from ichha, dvesh, bhay, krodh, all these things. And now Krishna has talked about ichha and krodh. Earlier also he's talked about kam and krodha. So then where is this bhay coming in now? So ichha will be like, ichha will be like, you can say, kamesha. Kam and krodha, vimuktanam. So Krishna is talking earlier about this. So bhay is coming from these three things. And Krishna has talked about it almost vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. And even, he has spoken this about in the 4th chapter also. He spoken this about even in the 2nd chapter also. So these three terms will again and again keep on coming. Because rag, bhay, and krodh. Rag is attachment, that okay, I want to enjoy this material world. And krodh is like, nobody can stop me from, enjoying this world. And then bhai is like, I don't know, what is there in this, spiritual world. I don't want to explore this. And all these, so many obstacles are there. I really don't want to get with this, So, vigata, ichha, bhaya, and krodha. Krodha means one should not have any, any desire in this world. And one should not be frustrated in this world. If somebody, renounces because he's frustrated in this world, then that, you can say that aversion also will keep, one person's thought in this material world fixed. So if somebody wants to really renounce, then it should not become out of frustration or escapism also in that matter. It should not be because, okay, okay, I'm really frustrated of this world. No, it should not be. Renunciation should be because I have an attraction of another world that is which is more better than this world, and that is why I'm renouncing, I'm giving up. If it is only because of frustration of this world, then that renunciation cannot last a long, it cannot be sustained for a very long time, right? And to sustain this renunciation, it has to be based on an attraction to another world. And that is why one has to become, you can say it's a compulsion, one has to become free from krodha. Vigata ichha bhaya krodho. Bhaya is this, I don't want to fall in this complexity of this relationship. Many people don't want to marry because they think that, these relationships are too complex and all. I won't be able to, cope up with these relationships. So I don't want to get into this business. Let me just, come out of this whole things and let me just, merge into something that is very void or something like that. So Krishna is not saying such a person will be liberated. He is saying that anybody who has discarded this ichha, bhaya, dvesha and krodha, that person is always liberated. Yah sada, because anybody who has discarded, then that person is yah sada mukta eva saha. There's such a person is what? He's liberated. He's always liberated. Who is in the stage of mukta eva saha. So, when one reaches this pratyahar stage, so what happens is that this person, what he does is he will shut down his external senses or external sense objects, and he will fix his mind inwards. And then after that, if one is free from that anarthas that he has, then one is liberated. And that is why Srila Prabhupada also, if you see, he's saying that shutting down all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths with the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. What does he do? The transcendental is aiming at the liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. And one who is always in this state is certainly liberated. So that is why Prabhupada is talking about we need to keep our eyes open. Open in the sense that Srila Prabhupada is talking about not closing the eyes, because when you close the eyes, you might just go off to sleep. So if you see the Ashtanga Yoga chapter, the next chapter that is there, Prabhupada has written it better even, He's written that that Krishna conscious is better than Ashtanga Yoga. So, because after explaining the above principle of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as how one can come to that position by practicing the mysticism of or yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into 8-fold procedures: Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. And of course, in the 6th chapter, it will be completely elaborately explained about this. You can just go ahead and read with this. We'll go to the next shloka. And he says that, oh, this is a very famous shloka. This is a world peace formula. World peace formula. And there are 3 things, if somebody knows this, he is completely peaceful. So let's see what what are those three things in this particular shloka that if I know, I will get, peace, and if I get peace, I'll get happiness. This says that Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surida sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So shantim richati. I'll just read the translation. A person in full Krishna conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and ever well-wisher of all the living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So he's saying that Shantim Richiti. Oh, sorry. He's saying that such a person will attain peace. And who will attain peace? Those will understand that Krishna is the Bhoktaram. He is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. He is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, penances, and austerities. Right? Those who will understand that. And he's saying that Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwara. So he is the enjoyer. And then he is the proprietor also. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So of all the planets and demigods thereof, Maha Ishwaram. He is the supreme Lord. And he is the proprietor of everything. And the third is saying that he is Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. Suridam means ever well-wishing friend. Sarva Bhutana. Bhutana means, Bhuta means living entity. Sarva Bhutana means all the living entities. So he's saying that he is the well-wisher of all the living entities. Then if somebody knows these three things, what will happen? He will attain peace. Santim Richati. So first is Krishna is Bhoktaram. Krishna is Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And Krishna is Suridam Sarva Bhutana. So if anybody knows these three things and he's realized that, he'll attain peace. So Prabhupada, why has he made this as the peace formula? He has made this peace formula because using this, I remember that Prabhupada had made this peace formula using this, and he got it printed on that pamphlet, and he said distribute it. And he's saying, what is this peace formula? You accept that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and the well-wisher. And somebody might wonder that what this has to do with has got to do with anything. How can accepting Krishna as the enjoyer, because see, people think that generally if we have to gain peace, then we have to do some negotiations, right? If two countries, when they're fighting for, like we have Hamas and Israel currently, right? So if they want to have peace, then some negotiations have to be done. And if they have to have some, peace conference also. And some, you can say some settlement, some amicable settlement, if you say, has to be there. And then these grievances also has to be readdressed. So, this is important, no doubt, at a material level, but at a material level, peace is always, not very stable. Peace is always chanchal, because there will be, always people who will be exploitative, and people, and who are exploitative, then real peace, cannot be got, or real peace has to grow within the hearts of the people. So when people are internally peaceful, then they can, radiate some peace outwards also. Otherwise, how can people become internally peaceful when, they can become internally peaceful as long as, people are dependent on some external satisfaction. They cannot become very peaceful, like, So till the time they cannot, till that time they cannot really have peace, because the external situations have disturbed them. And these external situations are also, you can say that they're always disturbing also. And of course, they are bound to disturb as such. So Krishna is telling about inner peace. He's not talking about external peace. He's talking about attains peace from the pangs of material miseries over here. So, so he's talking about the inner peace, and this inner peace is only sustainable when you are building that inner block for the outer peace. Like, like you try to build a house which is, so for in the example in a family, right? So when you have the family members inside, only their hearts are their hearts are compatible with each other, or they are appreciative with each other. So when they are peaceful inside only, so outside any person will come and talk anything against the other family members, they're not going to really, listen to them. So they will be sustained by that. So so when, Krishna is talking about, Shantim Richati, when he's talking about enjoyer, proprietor, benefactor, and which means, what is he saying? That he's saying that make peace with God, make peace with me, make peace, because before we have to have peace in this world, we have to make peace with Krishna, right? So somebody might ask, okay, what is this meaning of making peace with Krishna? I'm not fighting with Krishna. Uh, Krishna is also not involved in the fighting. So someone may say that, no, I'm not fighting with Krishna. Who's fighting with Krishna? Nobody's fighting. But actually, we are like, we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, right? In the sense that we have waged a war against Krishna, and we want to enjoy separately from him. And that is, very unfortunate, and we may not be very constantly, aware of it, but subconsciously we are in a way trying to, observe Krishna's position of the supreme enjoyer. And we are thinking that we are meant to be, the co-enjoyer with him. We are not meant to be independent enjoyers. We are actually, if we want to become enjoyer, then our enjoyer will be, our enjoyment will be a very limited enjoyment. But when we connect with Krishna, then our enjoyment will become unlimited, because why? Krishna is unlimited. That's why enjoyment also will be unlimited, because his capacity to enjoy is unlimited, and our capacity to enjoy is limited. So our enjoyment becomes connected with his enjoyment, and therefore, like, they say that we have to make peace with Krishna. And then when we make peace with Krishna, then peace comes within the heart, and then we can have peace in the outer world also. So the whole crux of this particular shloka is that when you have peace within, you will have peace outside. Till the time you don't have peace within, you will not have peace outside. So when our plans don't work, our you can say our agenda resentments could be in three directions: outward, inward, or it can be, upward. So whenever, we make some plans that I want to do like this, and I want to do like that, and then that plan does not work out, and then we feel very sad that why it didn't work out. So this sadness or resentment can go in three different directions. Either it can go, towards others, that, okay, why, because of him, this did not happen, and he came in my way and she came in my way, and why did that person do like that? And because that person, because of that person only I cannot do this and such. So when it goes outwards, we become hateful. Okay, we become a little revengeful also, and we may hurt others also. And you know mm, uh, mm, sometimes we may hurt others, or sometimes we may not also hurt that person, but that that hateful or revengeful, uh, you know that attitude which is there, that hurts us definitely. Or that resentment can go inwards also. And what we say, what sometimes, we start blaming ourselves. Have you realized that, I am such a useless person, and I'm just good for nothing. I can never do anything, well in my life. And we tend to develop a very inferiority complex also. And that is why if you see people, they go into depression. People develop these, suicidal tendencies. And so the resentment can go outwards, it can go inwards, or it can go upwards. Upward means, why God, did this, and why did God do like that? And that resentment comes like a wall between me and Krishna. And then when God helps me, I can't accept that help, because I'm in a resenting mood. And we think that, or I think that, I don't want to take any help from this person, that person. I don't want to take any help from God also. So that resentment is actually a wall between me and Krishna, and that is why I cannot take Krishna's help. So when we want help, we all need help in this world, of course, right? And this world has so many obstacles also, right? So there'll be many reversals also in our path. And we will need help. It's not like that we won't need help. So that help will come through where? That help will come through whatever knowledge I'm taking through the Bhagavad Gita. And when I'm taking the knowledge, I'll have faith, so that I understand that Krishna is always my well-wisher. Whatever he is doing for my ultimate good. So I'm not understanding this immediately, because you have a patient and a doctor. So the patient does not understand that why this doctor has her knife in his hand, right? And and how this knife of this doctor is going to do an immediate good for me. Or he only knows that, okay, it will cause pain, and it is not going to do any good to me. So same way, we will also not understand immediately, but slowly over a period of time, we will understand that we have to have some patience. We have to have we have to be faithful. That is why, if you see Srila Rupa Goswami, he says now that in bhakti you need utsaha, nishchay, and dharya. Right? We need to have patience. So we have to be faithful that Krishna is Suridam Sarva Bhutana. So then when we, so when we wanted, or when I wanted to become a Bhoktaram, and I find that I cannot become Bhokta, then I make a certain plan and think that, okay, I will enjoy in this world. And I will not be able to enjoy, because for enjoying, I need things. And if I want to enjoy, I need property, I need money, I need position. And sometimes even my positions are, taken away, or sorry, possessions are taken away, or the possession I want, I will not get that, and then, there is resentment coming up. And then actually, then that Suridam comes up, we will understand that, okay, Krishna is only the well-wisher of all living entities. So when we understand that Krishna is the well-wisher of all living beings, and he is my well-wisher also, and he is the well-wisher of the whole world, then that resentment comes down. That resentment starts breaking down. That, okay, whatever Krishna has planned for me, let me see how best I can continue acting in this world. Tatenu kampasu sukshmana. And when we have this attitude of acting in the best possible way, then we become purified by that. We become purified, and then when we become purified, then the more and more our way becomes more clearer, the peace becomes more deeper and deeper. There is a deep peace inside. So if you see all the sannyasis, if you see, they have a very deeper peace inside. Nothing gets affected. So many disciples they have all around the world, and still they have peace, right? Here in the house, the mother has one child, and her piece is, ripped off. Her piece is gone for a toss. And here, spiritual masters have thousands and lakhs of disciples, and still the spiritual master has peace. Why? Because the spiritual master's peace, or Srila Prabhupada's peace, was more deeper and deeper and deeper. So, whichever way, my resentment goes, I should understand that resentment is never positive emotion. And I should not be having that resentment. Whatever has happened in my life has happened in my life. Now it cannot be changed. And whatever has gone wrong, that also cannot be changed. And but I am still staying in the present tense. The present is still there with me, and I can change the present. So let me do what I can with the best possible way now, and let Krishna guide me. Suridam Sarvabhutana. Krishna is always there to help me. He is there to empower me. So this faith, when we have on this particular sentence, when you say Suridam Sarvabhutanam, it can free us from a bigger resentment, you can say. And we accept the fact that Krishna is my ever well wishing. Even if I don't understand how right now he is my well wisher, only accepting this fact, once we will know that, and we will see that in our lives also. And the things we think very terribly, which have gone wrong, how they work for our good only. Sometimes we might think that, oh, this has gone terribly bad for me. And why me only, Krishna didn't find somebody else, only why me? So when you say Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, he is the ever well-wishing friend of all living beings. And when we understand that he is the ever well-wishing friend of all the living entities, then we will become, we will not become overly possessive, that, okay, I want this, I want that, and, and for that, I will start fighting with people, or I will start making plans and as such. So, if you see currently also this war that has taken place, between Hamas and Israel. Okay, so this war is mostly, over this land that is there, right? Over wealth, land, property, power, possessiveness, and all this. And even if you see in the past, in history, even Hitler wanted to rule over the whole world. And he didn't want to serve. So we need to serve Krishna And we should not try to take his position of that controllership. So we should not think that I want to become Bhokta. No, we should think that I want to become servant. And then that will give me enjoyment in it will give me an enjoyment. It will give me a very deeper satisfaction that I will be getting by becoming a bhokta. In bhokta, you don't get any satisfaction, but that deeper level of satisfaction you will get only when I understand that I'm meant to serve the Supreme Lord. And when we understand this, we will become more peaceful. Shantim richati. So what Krishna is telling over here is not that Shanti which is coming from, if you don't fight. For Arjuna, Krishna is saying fight. And on one side he's saying, Are Shanti milegi, Shanti milegi. War se kahan Shanti milegi? Where will I get, peace when I'm fighting on the war? So he is not saying that. He's saying that Krishna is talking here. It is not that Shanti which comes from that absence of war in that outer world that we are living in. So war in the outer world will continue, between nations and people and all. But there is a war in the inner world also. In my heart also there is a war. And this is largely fueled by, resentment towards things and people. And ultimately, I have a resentment towards God, you know. So, when I say, resentment means, a feeling of anger or displeasure at something, or something like you feel, an insult. So that is the meaning of resentment. And so Krishna is saying that I will not have anger towards people, and I will not have anger even towards God or Krishna. And that resentment can be sent to a retirement by that knowledge. That resentment can go to sleep, by when you have that knowledge that Krishna is the ever well-wishing friend of all living entities. I just need to serve Krishna, and I just need to obey his orders. So, when this verse, when Krishna is saying that the ultimate goal of all the paths is Gyatva Mam, when he's saying Gyatva Mam Shantim Richati. So, when I say Bhoktanam Yagna Tapasam, the goal of Krishna, the goal of Karma Kand and Karma Yoga is that when Krishna is saying that I am Bhokta of all the Yagyas are performed by, those who are practicing Karma Kand and Karma Yoga. So these Yagyas, if you see in the third chapter, Karma Yoga chapter, was discussed previously also. So these Karma Kandi people and the Karma Yogi people, they do yagya for Sri Krishna. And Krishna is saying that I am the goal of that yagya, those who are practicing Karma Kand and Karma Yoga. And then he's saying that Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam. So whatever penances people are doing or austerities people are doing, the Gyanis, they are performing austerities. Like they are, they're performing austerities to get detached from this world. So Krishna is saying that I am the goal of the Gyanis also. And then he's saying Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. I am the goal of the demigod worship also. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे ईश्वर है, small ईश्वरास are there, but I am Maha Ishwaram. So, demigod worshippers, what they do is they want to go to heavenly planets because they think that, they think that those are their worshipable, lords and deities, and they want to be with them, and they think that that will make them happy. But Krishna has said that those who are worshipable as demigod, they will go to the demigod loka. He's saying, what is that shloka in the 9th chapter? He's saying that Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. He's saying that actually Krishna is saying that the lokas of the demigod worshippers are also my lokas only, because I am only the primary proprietor, I am only the secondary proprietor, and I am the only ultimate proprietor of those lokas also. And that is why that whole thing will come up to me only. And then he's saying that Suridham. Suridham means the benefactor, or you can say that the goal of Ashtanga Yoga, they want to turn inwards and they want to meditate on the Supreme Absolute. So he says that they want to meditate, or they want to do dhyana, and they, by that meditation or dhyan, they want to turn inwards and they want to fix that consciousness on the Supreme Lord, and they want to perceive the super soul inwards. So Krishna is saying that they want to perceive me, and because they want to perceive the Lord, but I am that Lord. And so Suridam can also mean the well-wisher also, but it can also mean that one who is situated in every living entity's heart. So Krishna is telling that factually he is situated in everybody's heart as the super soul. So he is the goal of those Ashtanga yogis, the super soul, the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord is the goal of the Ashtanga yogis. And then he's saying that Sarva Bhutanam. So he's saying that ultimately the goal of all living entities, Krishna is saying that I am only the goal of all those living entities. And Krishna is telling that I am the goal also of all the paths. So whether a person is performing karma kanda, karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, gyan yoga, dhyan yoga, anything is performing, he is only the goal of all the paths. And that is why if you see in this particular shloka, where Krishna is the beneficiary of all the human activities, men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because he is the proprietor of all the planets and demigods thereon, and no one is greater to him. So he's saying that the Lord is the master of the material nature and the conditioned souls, and under the stringent rules of material nature. And unless one understands this fact, he will not be able to achieve, peace. Unless one understands that it is not possible to achieve peace in this world, either by individually or collectively. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. So, Lord Krishna is the supreme predominator, and all the living entities, including the great demigods, are his subordinates. One can attain perfect peace only in complete Krishna consciousness. So, so that is why he's saying that Krishna consciousness means it is bringing one into the spiritual life, even while one is, bounded by this matter. And when he arouses his spiritual existence, and when he's practicing in this material world. So, see, if you see, when a person, when a person is practicing jnana yoga, what happens is there are two paths basically in jnana yoga. One is disconnecting from the world, so that he becomes connected to the spiritual reality. But when this person in bhakti yoga, whoever is there, he may stay in this world, But that bhakti yogi or the devotee may stay in this world, and he invokes the spiritual reality by his devotional intentions. And so that spiritual existence is aroused even while he is in this material world. And so he does not have to renounce artificially anything. And that is what is making the whole process very exciting. Why? Because we don't have to give up anything material, for going to the spiritual world. We can be in this material world, and we can act in a very nice, regulated way, in a devotional way. And Prabhupada is saying that we have to dovetail all our, what do you say, activities towards devotional service. Everything you dovetail towards devotional service. So whether you are working, whether you are, in the house, or whether a student, or anywhere you are, what you are doing is that there is a gradual process of elevation in this process. Because in the Ashtanga Yoga, you have Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, and Pratyahara, and all those. But these are only, you can say that preface perfections. But only bhakti can award peace to a person. And that is the highest perfection of life. So that is why Ashtanga Yoga, after the Ashtanga Yoga process, one person comes to Samadhi. And when he comes to that Samadhi platform, then one becomes Krishna conscious, because at that time, one becomes fully conscious of Krishna. That yes, Krishna is in my heart, he is the Paramatma, he is the ever-reaching friend, he is sitting right next to me. Because that is what, is the ultimate goal. So if someone is practicing Krishna consciousness, and in an alternative way, without going into any other process, so the whole process of Ashtanga Yoga, this person, even if he does not follow, he can achieve that ultimate goal of Bhakti Yoga just by following Krishna consciousness. So in this way, Krishna is saying that that Karma Yoga and Karma Gyan will lead to the same result, but out of the two, Karma Yoga and Gyan Yoga will lead to the same result, but which is more easier? Karma Yoga. And then he's explained that how this Karma Yoga will lead to liberation. And in the second section, he has said that that by knowing this Atma and understanding oneself to be this Atma, he can stay free from any bondage work. And then he speaks about, fixing the mind on the Paramatma. A person can get liberation. And that is why Krishna is telling Arjuna, you practice Karma Yoga and you don't have any doubts of this Karma Yoga. By practicing Karma Yoga also, you can attain liberation. So, Krishna, now in the 6th chapter, what he will do is, he will describe that how when eventually one has to renounce what, one, and when he renounces, what he has to do at that time. So this is what he is going to actually describe in the next chapter, right? So now, so I just completed this part. Oh God. So spend so much of time on this only. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you all is that can we have one class on Friday, Saturday, another class? See, now we have only the 6th chapter left. And if you see, the 6th chapter has somewhere uh, uh, close to 47 shlokas, I guess so. Yeah, 45 shlokas it has. So even if I divide it, because one session takes almost 10 shlokas. 10, 5 sessions. I have another 5 sessions with you all for Dhyan Yoga. So I need your 10 hours. 10 hours, 5 sessions, 2 hours each session. So is it possible that I'm sharing with you my calendar? Just give me 1 minute, okay? So that it becomes more clearer when you see the calendar. So see, today is 21st, right? And then I have with y'all 28. Tomorrow, is it possible? I don't think so, because morning Hindi Bhakti Shastri, then IDC, and then when I come back. Is it possible that we have a class on 27th and the 28th, 2 hours, 27, 28? Or should I take a poll on the WhatsApp? And then I have 3rd and 4th also. Because, Diwali will be round the corner. And then if I don't get 5 classes, for them, it will become very difficult for you all to, cope up with. So I'm planning to finish it within this time. What do you all say?
If possible, Mataji, Friday evening and Saturday morning.
Friday evening. Yes, I guess Friday evening, because weekend people come a little early also, not a problem. Friday evening, can we have it from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock? 27th?
I have class on Saturday and Sunday evening 7 to 8 and
No,
8 to 10.
we are talking about Friday, Prabhuji.
Friday is okay.
Yeah.
Friday is okay.
So then what I'll do is I'll take 27th Friday, 28th Saturday morning, then again 3rd Friday evening, 4th Saturday morning, because Saturday is, that Saturday we anyways have only a class, right? And then I will take on the 10th Friday. So like that I get 5 classes with y'all if it is on a Friday. Anybody has any this on Fridays? Because I feel that Friday will be better. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. What I'll do is I will put it on the WhatsApp group that we'll have classes on these days, and I'll mention the time also. And if anybody has any objection on that, we'll just work it out so that everybody is on one page and everybody can easily attend that. Fine. Okay, dear devotees, thank you very much for your patience and kind hearing. And thank you so much. So we'll meet on Friday then. Yeah, Pathasati, go and look with that. That is the only reason that I'm saying on Friday, because it's a holiday for you also. So it'll be easy for you also to attend, Prabhuji. Okay.
So Mataji, Friday you will be using this reading class time also.
7 to 8, no, we'll not have reading class, Prabhuji. Let the reading class people attend this Bhagavad Gita class. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Because somewhere I want to complete this portion before we go for a Diwali vacation. So that you have Diwali, you have December also to prepare for the January exam. You have almost, you can say, 2 full months for preparation for the examination. Because this time the questions are also a little more. So you have full 2 months for preparation then. Yeah. Thank you, dear devotees. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.